Let's then head into the third game, as you're gonna be having the score corrected for 2-0 for Sun Tzu. And we're gonna be heading into Mediterranean, the third preset map for the match. And let's see what you're gonna be seeing here, because it's gonna be quite a different dynamic. And that's actually the first water map, if I remember correctly, in the tournament, at least that I'm streaming. Otherwise, I've been streaming basically only land maps. And Sicaro, well, the Zeus was having correct idea with the Athena rush. You just needed to be going a bit more hardcore into it and simply execute it better. Against Loki, it's always difficult because Loki is the best in defense against it because of all the myth units. But otherwise, the idea was correct. Just basically better execution. And the fact that Sun Tzu is simply better player. So he was always going to be a favorite in there with his favorite good with Loki. Because Sun Tzu is right now about 1700, but he's decayed. He's about like, I don't know, 1750 to 1800. And Julius is about 1700 himself. So he's not bad. You definitely see that he knows what to do. But yeah, it's the first round of the tournament. So Sun Tzu definitely is the favorite here. So there we go. They're gonna be heading for the merit. Sun Tzu going for Thor. Yeah, Thor is kinda considered pretty good on water. Odin maybe on par. He can also be pretty solid. But Zeus for the opponent, it's gonna be a fairly interesting matchup right now. I'm curious what Sun Tzu is gonna be doing and how he's gonna be playing it. Because I'm not all that certain that many players would be brave in this. Thor versus Zeus on water. But I'm thinking he also could be going just basically for a straight land push. That's definitely something he can do. And wouldn't be such a bad idea, I'm considering. And with how the game have gone, that's better English in there, I'm thinking he could be getting away with it. And it would be also a huge surprise, even on any kind of high-level matchup. Because really, nobody does that. Nobody does early push on Mediterranean, basically ignoring the water. But we'll see what happens. I'm just expecting that Julius is gonna be going for a fairly standard build-up. You can see this dock is not entirely all that ideal. You usually don't want to be building it into the corners. Because at that point, you just don't have all that much of a extra bonus out of it as far as the shorter time into the other spots on the fish. So it would be a bit better if you, for example, position it either in the middle between the three sums here, or maybe beyond like this three sum here into this position. Although nonetheless, in the very start, it's probably not going to be that much of an issue. Just a bit later, the efficiency is going to be mounting up. As for example, for Sun Tzu is obviously going to be having a bit better time, as he also got a bit different spawn of the fish. So he was probably hoping for a bit, or rather hoping, he's probably a bit luckier as far as what the map could be luring him into. As there's gonna be relic to the bottom side for 3 golden lions. And yet again, that could be even more tempting Sun Tzu. Because even 2 extra units like that, even though they are not extremely too strong, they are still 2 extra bodies. And they definitely do count towards the result. Okay, so Julius so far, he's gonna be having fairly safe gold behind his base, so that's really nice. Even though Forest Fire is probably gonna be cast somewhere here, I'm expecting from Sun Tzu. That's usually how players do it in the early stages on water maps. So otherwise, the gold next to the TC, not entirely too great, because it's cut off by the woodline, but if he's gonna be able to cut through it, could be fairly safe. So is this in the range of the water? I think it is. Yeah, it definitely is. It is in the range of the water, so there's gonna be another TC to the top for Sun Tzu. That's gonna be also in the range, because this one isn't. And there always is a one in range and one not. Like for example this one. And okay, look at that. That's a quite a nice bonus for Julius. Thinking he's gonna be quite happy about this gold mine in completely and utterly safe position. As otherwise there's another one just that you can be sneaking through the side of the map for. And this is making this TC really important and quite nice. Second gold for the opponent so far not exactly visible. You can see that the one in the front is kind of like standard, but he hasn't exactly scouted at the back, so there's a chance he's gonna be having something similar in there. In the opposite guard, it definitely is not impossible. As template is coming down for Julius, for the opponent is pretty much the same, so the advance times don't have to be all that different for the players, as Freya is on the way. And for the opponent, we are gonna be expecting Athena at this point, because that's obviously better on the water if he wants to be fighting the classical age, and that's kind of something that we are gonna be definitely expecting. Second dock from Julius probably would be making good sense either here or there. But this is just gonna be way too risky. So it's gonna be about like here, I'm expecting. That's gonna be also making for good defensive position in between the docks. As for the opponent, I'm expecting second dock. Now I was going to say that maybe he could be going a bit more to the top. But considering that he's having another threesome in the middle, he chose like in the middle, in between. Which is also not a bad choice. And definitely both are having some kind of reasoning behind them. Though it might be making it a bit challenging for him to potentially lure the opponent in the middle somewhere here. And so that he could be shot at by both docks. If he was having the dock a bit higher, he could be emulating something that you're going to be expecting from Julius. And you can see he's going to be having the dock in kind of pretty much the similar position in there. And so therefore there is a chance that Julius could be able to maneuver around Sun Tzu's two docks rather well and basically fighting only next to the proximity of only one, I'm expecting. Okay, so there's a safe gold as well with the TC being in water range, so it's pretty much the same for both players as you'll be expecting, with Heart's Folly not entirely too extremely helpful in this matchup here. But we need to be right now looking into the water battle because the dock is already finished, but the second advance was obviously a bit later, so therefore the 3 RMS are gonna be taking a bit more time to be coming out. And they are not exactly as strong as the Norse boats, obviously. The attack missing as the bonus for the Greek boats is basically having better range, but he needs to be getting into open seas, or other seas, to be able to use it properly, because right now the numbers are definitely not working towards his favor, as he needs to be trying to lure the enemy in between the docks, so that this dock could be also shooting. So basically kiting to the bottom is not making all that much of a sense in that. At the same time, problem is that basically this position is way too close to the corner, so in case he's not gonna be having even enough boats, even basically combined with the docks, to defend against the opponent, he's gonna be kind of forcing himself into a tough situation and basically a fateful battle that he might not be having all that high chances of actually winning in the end. Okay, so there we go. There's gonna be Restoration already cast quite a bit earlier. I'm thinking that Julius will be wanting. And then you can see even all that much help with the help of the 3 RMS in there. And the numbers of the boats is just getting way too ridiculously big for Sun Tzu. At 11 longboats, only 7 3 RMS. Yeah, right now Julius needs to be really in the defensive and way careful. Way more careful than he so far is. Because at this point Sun Tzu is exactly the kind of player that he's gonna be able to punish him for that. And he also does have the means for that with the stronger boats. So, bit of a nice, at least maneuvering going on by Julius. Trying to slightly kite the opponent and help himself get some better fights. But is he gonna be really able to do something out of it and get something out of it? It's looking slightly doubtful, but not entirely all that impossible. But right now look at those bows, they are mostly pretty much dead, and maybe it could be even slightly better micro by Sun Tzu to get rid of the bows that are damaged. So at this point, yeah, even for example the fishing boats are gonna be serving as a bit of a false target, inadvertently helping Julius, but the numbers are just increasing, ever increasing for Sun Tzu, and not exactly getting better for Julius, unfortunately. And there's gonna be a bit of a forest fire to the bottom side. Yeah, this is exactly what you want to do when you want to be casting the forest fire. Even if you're gonna be casting it exactly on the wood line and not killing all that many villies, you want to be doing it at the time when your opponent also has to be microing on the water. So therefore he has to be dividing his attention, and that is the time when you are gonna be making mistakes, obviously. So that was well timed and well done, as right now Sun Tzu seems to be pretty much claiming victory on the water. Even right now cleaning up with all the fishing boats, so 3 RMS are gone. And what could be done by Julius is trying to maybe make something into the docks. But at this point it seems to be already a bit too late, because Sun Tzu is probably going to be continuing with a few more boats. And much more importantly, he is going to be already thinking about the Heroic Age at this point, because he has pretty much won the water and can be even switching into some small raiding with the Valkyrie and maybe a few more, I don't know, horses, since he's a Thor. Could be making a good sense as well. It almost seems like that Julius is actually gonna be trying to still fight on, even though he has lost the water in quite an early stage, about like 8 minutes. That's really quite early, and therefore it's gonna be costing you quite a solid advantage to your opponent on the economy. So don't... Oh, well, he is actually making into the docks, so he's not giving up fully. So he's gonna be trying to make a comeback. This is something that on Titans you can definitely do. On Vanilla you can't, because the docks are not shooting. And therefore, on Vanilla, this situation will be already pretty much like a warm water. But here, let's see. Julius is maybe gonna be having a bit of a chance. how to punish his opponent if he's not gonna be finishing properly or advancing properly himself. You can see right now switching into longhouse for some throwing axemen and actually three longhouses. His resources, I'm kind of thinking that actually right now blue should be a bit more heading into heroic age rather than trying to build some kind of army. Because if he's gonna be scouting properly around the enemy base, he's gonna be seeing there's nothing going on. There's nothing stirring in the red's base. And therefore, he just should be, he does have already pursuing, at least he should be just trying to pursue the technological advantage that he's gonna be able to get out of what he has done. But right now, this is the time for Julius to right now come in out of his shell. Looking at the number of 3MS, he's gonna be having 10. His opponent is having about like 10 longboats, 11 in total, which is quite an equal number. And therefore, we are having a bit of a restart of the water fights. And it's gonna be interesting to see how Sun Tzu is gonna be reacting, because he wasn't able to exactly get all that much of an advantage out of that, as far as, for example, getting into heroic, which could have been just putting the game completely out of Julius's hands. Okay, right about now Sun Tzu is gonna be of course suffering from the fact that he cannot exactly fight in the middle and having two dogs shooting, as he's right now producing another dog all the way to the top to have some kind of better defensive position. As right now this is not an entirely favorable fight anymore for Julius, as he wasn't able to get enough reinforcements in there, whereas his opponent is of course still producing a few more boats exactly into the fight and also fighting right next to the dock. Is he still producing? Oh yeah, he still does have the auto queue, as he should be. But definitely important fight still going on. You can see the difference in the score though is quite huge at 500. So that's already telling you how much of an advantage Sun Tzu is at this point having. And oh well, he did manage to right now get enough food for the heroic age, whereas Julius is definitely not anywhere nearby. So as soon as Sun Tzu is gonna be able to get his armory and his things in order, then well, definitely you can be expecting maybe even some kind of flame weapons on water. Wouldn't be such a terrible idea. Maybe he's gonna be needing to win it. And of course, it's gonna be giving him such a huge bonus into attack that it will be completely melting the enemy navy, and quite probably right after even the docks. Okay, so on the left, this is gonna be right about now. The armory already up. So far, not exactly going for the age advance yet, curiously enough. Aha, he has, because he has used all the gold. No, that's unlucky. He has also run out of gold. So this is actually fairly problematic for Sun Tzu. He actually managed to mismanage the situation at this point. Because he just should have been advancing into heroic age really about like a minute or two ago. And he's absolutely not, because he also ran out of gold. He needs to be right now switching with all the dwarfies somewhere else. So, and he needs to be also positioning the Oxcart slightly better. Somewhere like beyond the dwarfies. Pretty much the same as you would be wanting to do with any kind of other civilization. But right now problem is for Julius that while this could have been helpful for him, he is gonna be suffering from the same problem, missing the gold, even though he still does have plenty. Right now he is not having the army to be able to claim the one to the top side, for example with the TC, which he probably should be trying to attempt. I'm thinking that's something he should be trying to do, for example with a whole bunch of villages in there. But unfortunately it seems like that Sun Tzu's decision to go for a bit of army is gonna be paying off. And he's gonna be able to slaughter quite a solid amount of villages. This is not entirely all that safe with default. And while he does have a military academy and an archernage as well, he's gonna be making the army only now. And therefore that's not entirely all that timely as it could have been. And that's of course resulting in the losses. So medium cavalry and Scary. Interesting that he's going for Scary actually. Would be expecting maybe flame weapons to help him maybe even on the water in there slightly. But definitely what is true right now, that Julius is not going... Oh, he's running through corner. Poor girl. He's not gonna be able to advance into heroic age in any kind of manner at all. Because the piggies, he still does have at least a few of them. But he's not getting all that much food at this stage. And that's gonna be why a GG is already called. And Sun Tzu, even trying to steal the front TC from his opponent, is gonna be claiming the last game as well. After claiming the water, there was a very good attempt by Julius on the comeback in there. Quite a nice one, and not all that impossible one, especially with the mistake that Sun Tzu did on the economy there. Could have been giving him a bit more time, but unfortunately with the Sun Tzu's army in presence, it just wasn't to be. And therefore Sun Tzu is gonna be winning 3-0 and advancing into the second round. But we have seen, well, nice attempts by Julius. Just, well, Sun Tzu is quite a high level player. And therefore, it was always going to be quite an uphill battle for Julius, but I think he gave it quite a good chase and quite a good fight. And Sun Tzu definitely had to play for it. It wasn't any kind of like easy give-in. Definitely not at all. Let's have a look into the post-game. It's gonna be Sun Tzu at the highest score here, with winning everything. That's not much of a surprise considering how the game went. And of course the huge difference in the food economy. That's always going to be the case when you lose water at about 8 minutes. Even though he didn't lose it fully, there was still a bit of a comeback on the water that put Sun Tzu into a bit of a precarious situation for a moment. Now obviously here the unit skill, that's result. You can see even the military card, not really yet again that different, but it's all about the timing and having the correct battles, which is exactly what Sun Tzu was having and what wasn't going for Julius too well and too much. You can see Julius having basically advanced into the heroic or into the classical age, and then Hendux, the two upgrades for him. The opponent was having a bit more. With longbow at 35, even more 3MS for Julius, but still victory went for longbows. And therefore Sun Tzu with the Thor. Yeah, the civilians, obviously that's gonna be growing after Julius is gonna be losing the boats, whereas Sun Tzu is gonna be making even more of them. That's almost like pretty much a secondary TC. You know, they're gonna be having the advantage from water. Yeah, quite a solid comeback on the water. And they were having similar amount of boats. You mustn't forget that part of the difference here is also a land army already prepared from blue. And that wasn't going to be enough, in combined with raiding as well. So, GG, and congrats to Sun Tzu again. And hope to see you, Julius, in some other tournament again. Okay, so let's put on the score for 3-0. So that is going to be it for this match. Just gonna be right now looking if there isn't something right now going on. But I don't think there will be. But there are going to be matches a bit later. That's going to be at 19 GMT, so in about an hour and a half, there are gonna be plenty of matches. There's gonna be Brickhead versus Savali, Aikiludai versus Young Guns, Truelock versus 9 Racing Cat, and then at 20 GMT, there's gonna be Hagrid versus Nidhogg and Three-Eyed Odin versus Iamjulius. So there are gonna be plenty of games over the weekend. Or no, over the evening today and tomorrow as well in the evening. But yeah, there are plenty of overlaps. So I'm expecting I'm gonna be streaming at least some of the matches of that, starting at 19 GMT. But I'm hoping that there are gonna be also some other streamers wanting to do some matches, so we'll see who's gonna be streaming what. But in about an hour and a half, as I'm gonna be taking a bit of a break for dinner myself at this point, we should be having more HO Mythology goodness from Gregg Open Tournament. And good Karadus, no need to be like nasty like that. Not everybody is born an expert. So he was giving it what he could and how he knew how to play. And obviously just basic experience in tournaments like this is invaluable because it's different type of play. It's not just casual community game. And he's gonna be hopefully learning from that. What he could be doing better, maybe watching the recorded game, getting some tips from other players, and then improving. And you don't know, maybe next tournament he's gonna be the one to face Sun Tzu again, and this time beating him. That's how it goes with natural progresses, and it can definitely happen. But in the meantime, that's going to be it for this second session today. I hope that you enjoyed another match. We're gonna be, as I said, having another match in about an hour and a half. Don't know what it's going to be. That's just gonna be decided on the spot and depending what other streamers want to be doing as a match. And feel free to follow here just to be notified when we are next live and with what kind of match. And of course, feel free to visit the Discord, for example, and some YouTubes and everything like that you know from other streams as well. We'll be glad if you joined and you could be having some conversations about HO Mythology or other games that we stream here. But otherwise, for the community, as always, RTS-Sanctuary.com. That's a place for HO Mythology since 2003. It's home, with all kinds of tournaments hosted in there, so therefore recorded games from all across the ages, strategy guides helping you improve your gameplay, or just basically discussions on all kinds of AOM topics, so feel free to join us And also recorded games from this tournament are going to be there besides the tournament Discord as well. You can get the info at !BGO if you want to be having some more knowledge about the tourney. Otherwise, there's also Age of Mythology Heaven for all kinds of modding and custom scenarios and everything for AOM. There's also Reddit. And we have been playing on Woobly, the best place for Age of Mythology and Age of Empires multiplayer, and using Woobly Balance Patch 4.0. But of course, as always, if you want to be playing standard Ensemble Studios patch, vanilla, custom scenarios with your friends against AI, anything is possible here. Feel free to join and increase your player pool if you are playing on other platforms and just enjoy the game a bit more. Okay, so that's going to be it for the time being. I hope that you enjoyed. I've been Blackadder at Blackadder's Place, and see you in about an hour and a half.